everybody. We are doing the tabletop testing series. Today we got Josh with Gardevoir and Bryson with Lugia Single Strike. The Gardevoir deck is the second place deck from the big Japanese event, and Lugia Single Strike is kind of just a mixture of the staple list running around in the Japanese meta currently. So the idea on the Gardevoir deck is Gardevoir EX can attach a bunch of psychic energies to your psychic Pokemon. They do take 20 damage, but you hit your opponent so hard it doesn't really matter. And you do play Emergency Jelly to heal yourself. And then, of course, Lugia just wants to put Single Strike energy now that all the other energy rotated. So like Josh going first, sure. He will end his turn with Roar the Sword, which lets you search for a Psychic, attach it to a Psychic Pokemon, but your turn is over. I'd like to thank Darkside Games in Las Vegas for letting us film there today. Go check out their website, darksidegames.com. Darkside10 for 10% off. So we see here Bryson did hit the Capturing Aroma, followed by this Ultra Ball, searching his deck for a Pokemon. Let us see what Pokemon he chooses. Might be eyeing a second Lugia or the Stonejourner. Nope, maybe. Looks like he will begin that beautiful Alt-Art Lugia to go with that Tyranitar. I think just in case Josh has the nuts turn 2 and can knock out one of those Lugias. And you know what happens when you don't have a Lugia in play. Then we got the Professor's Research, draw 7 cards there. He went with Rowan in his deck, a very good choice. It's a very sophisticated man, and it looks like he will pass. Alright, what Josh going on? He's got a Level Ball going there in his hand, Pal Pad, a couple of things. He will Level Ball, which lets you search your deck for Pokemon 9 HP or less, and he will get Krillia. Krillia is a cool ability that I'm sure we're going to see here in a moment. That ability is discard a card, draw 2. So you do want to discard Psychic, but it's okay. It looks like he went with a Collapsed Stadium, followed by the Worker, draw 3, and discard a Stadium in play. Might be eyeing another Level Ball here to get another Krillia to draw more cards, because if there's anything we know about Pokemon, you gotta draw a bunch of cards. So, let's see what goes here. It looks like he will be using that second Krillia, discarding a Psychic to draw 2. I think that's 3 Rare Candy in his hand, and he did draw a Greninja. Unfortunate discard there, because it doesn't look like he has another Psychic Energy, so he might have to resort to Zacian there to end his turn, or even attack with Ralts. Let's see. Thinking about it, reading it, just checking. Looks like he will attack with Ralts. You choose one of your opponent's attacks. That Pokemon cannot use it next turn. I believe he chose a second attack. So Zacian cannot get Boss KO'd. So Bryson here will attach a Lucky Energy. Thinking about what he wants to do. His hand's like no Lugias in it. He has a Judge, but he doesn't want to go to 4 before he doesn't have anything. He's also got a Boss, so he did have that option. With no Lugia VSTAR. Nope, maybe. We'll play the Lumineon V to get supporter. Let's see what he gets. Eyeing Professor Burnett. That doesn't get you V-Star. Looks like he will be dumping a Research. I mean, he's dumping that hand, but you kind of do. You need what you want to need. He will earn 1 Single Strike Energy back in his deck. That is an advantage this version has compared to other ones with the lack of different Pokemon you can play. You could put your Single Strike Energy back in your deck, and that's pretty sick. So let's see here. His hand's so shiny, I can't tell what's going on here. Looks like he's got another Aroma. We'll play that Aroma. Get that Heads, which I believe lets him get an Evolution Pokemon. Eyeing up that Lugia, making sure we got 2 Archeops ready to go in the discard pile. So got 2 Nest Ball, but you don't really want those because then you can put 1 Archeops in play, and that's not a good time if Josh could just pick it off. He will get that Lugia V-Star down. Just shuffling. I think he's going back in a second anyway. But you see there's V-Star ability, puts 2 colorless non-Roblox Pokemon in play. He will then Archeops, search for 2 special energy, attaching your Pokemon. Let's see, he's going to be eyeing the Single Strike, which makes your Single Strike Pokemon do 20 more, and a V-Guard to take 30 less from Vs, and put a Double Turbo on the Lugia V-Star. So that card just ready to go with the 2 Double Turbo, and then he's like, that's crazy, Ralts. You're knocked out. Its deck also discards the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Alright, Arven and Psychic. Psychic ain't that bad for Josh, but it does reduce the Greninja draw, but luckily Krillia can discard anything. It's like Josh says, I'm going all in this turn. He draws a Judge here. Does he want to do that before he does anything? Attaches that Emergency Jelly we talked about earlier. He does it. Oh, he said, all right, look, my hand's not really super good. I got the possibility to draw up to 6 more cards this turn. At least 4. So I'm going to make you shuffle your hand. Your deck. Your hand was pretty good. You know, or, I'm sorry, pretty large because you were knocking out stuff. Let's see what Josh does. Well, 2 of those cards are playable. He did get Level Ball here. I believe he would have 1 Ralts left in his deck if there are any. I think he's just kind of seeing at this point. Looks like he might have it. He does grab the Mew. That's the Galarian Gallery version from Celebrations going on here. That can use a good pivot card. He will discard Manaphy to draw 2. VIP Pass, that's probably not sticking around. He will use Krylia. Say, you know what, I'm going to discard that again. Looks like he hit the Gardevoir EX and a VIP Pass. We love to see one of those at any time during the game. Starting to count those Psychics. Bryson's like, what you doing, bud? Alright, just says, you know what, we're going to evolve. Use this Gardevoir here, which says, look at the top 2. You can attach any number of Psychic, but if you don't, you just put the other 2 in your hand. Fortunately, did not hit any Psychics there, but he does have 1 from the Judge in his hand for Ninja. He drew 2 Psychics. Well, if he would have done it the other way, he would have attached both Psychics, but that's not one of those things, you know, hindsight 2020, of course. I don't know if he get the knockout here because of the V-Guard energy, but we're going to find out. He drops the Mew just to have it for next turn or whatever. Reading that Gardevoir, just making sure I know what it does. It's a new card. You know, I don't want to mess that up too much, but it looks like we might have seen some Gardevoir abilities if he's going all in. Let's see how many Psychics he's got. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 90, 120, 150. When he's doing 210 before any modifiers. So we'll put 80 on it. And then 240. V-Guard, he'll be 10 short. It looks like Tyranitar will live with 10 HP. Man, that Gardevoir, missing that Gardevoir, really coming back. But he's going to Pal Pad before he attacks, I think. Put in Worker and Judge. So he will have 220 Roar of the Sword. Storm Slash, 30 for each Psychic. So to 90, 20, 50, 80, 10, 40, minus to 30. Bresnik just kind of threw a bunch of dice on the field. The Tyranitar is now knocked out. It looks like Tyranitar is knocked out. The Tyranitar is not knocked out, I promise. I promise. But it is at 220. I'll keep that for the viewer. They do attach another single strike. So they got to be able to kill Zacian this turn or bad things will happen. Because if you put it 30 or less, the emergency yellow will kick in. Plus it'll live. But I know he doesn't want to do the second attack. Because the second attack you have to mill yourself 4. And he's like, my deck's pretty good. So he's like, do I just pump all 4? I got urns left. You know. Because if you have 4 of them, it'll do 140 and knock out Zacian. So let's see if that's what he's... By putting out 4, I feel like that's what he's opting for, right? He's going to Burnett, I think just to thin out the deck. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to draw these cards anymore. I don't need them. So, looks like he will be doing that. Okay, and then he will be swinging for the knockout of 140. Let's see, Josh does have to mill here before he starts his turn. He does mill. Serena and Judge. Ooh, that was pretty good, actually. Let's see what Josh could do. I mean, he can attack with the Mew because the Tyranitar does have 10 HP. He does Mew. He has one choice. Yep. Because tools are no longer items in the Scarlet and Violet expansion. So he's taking Fog Crystal. Or Fog Crystal. Or nothing, I guess. He will get that Psychic Energy. He does have Miriam, which lets him put Pokemon back in his deck. He kind of needs to draw that. Oh, good. Another VIP pass. Alright, here we go. Looks like he will double Gardevoir onto the Mew. Thinking about what he wants to do before he attacks. He will use Gardevoir's ability. Any energy? Oh, nope. Just draws 2. Thinking if he wants to do with this energy. Might just be attack in here. He will Ultra Ball. I'm tired of drawing the VIP pass. Oh, look. I'm trying to draw on that other VIP pass. So he will just get a Gardevoir X to thin out that deck. You don't want to be drawing that card too much. And then he will do 30 damage with Mew. And Mew taken down Tyranitar. Bryson does get to draw 1 card with Lucky Energy. That's what that was. But Josh taking a prize with Mew. Alright, so if he can avoid a boss's order, that's pretty good. That doesn't look like he's going to. Bryson slammed down the Drapion. One thing about Gardevoir, it is weak to dark. He hit the double turbo and the V-Guard energy. Looks like he's going to boss up. That card will do a bunch of damage. It does 190. It does 2 less, but it's still times 2, which is 340 to knock out that Gardevoir EX. And go to 1 prize. Shut down 4 to 1. Not looking too good. His whole board just it gets knocked out. Might be near the end of this game here. Let's see if Josh contemplating. He's like, is there any cool moves? Should I attack with Mew again? He's going to go Ninja just to see what he could do. See if there's anything left for him in this game. He will use Gardevoir to see. Yep. Oh, attach 1. There. Another rare candy. I don't know if there's anything left he could do. He's just thinking. What do I got? Alright, and it looks like he will concede. Game 2. Starting off, we got Greninja versus a Lugia. Josh will draw 2 with Greninja's ability. Drop that roll. Let's see what else he's got here. I mean, his turn 1 last time was fine. It's just turn 2 wasn't, like, super good. Because he wasn't able to really attack, and he attack with Ralts. Not super ideal. He's thinking. Looks like he will Ultra Ball. He will get another Ralts. He's like, 2's better than 1. Realistically, he'd won 4. But I guess he's going to need to deal with 2. We'll shuffle up there and pass the turn. Alright, let's see what Bryson can do. He's got the new stadium there. Flip a coin of heads. 1 second player's turn. You can just search for a Pokemon. Looks like he'll bet you on Lugia. Play that Burnett we saw last game. Put, I'm assuming, 2 Archeops, in the discard pile. Get those ready for next turn. It's like, hey, look at that, Josh. My deck's ready to go. Hopefully yours does something cool. He's already ready. Just got to evolve next turn, and he's going. Check if you can attach that to Lugia, which can, and he passes. Josh starts off here, thinking what he wants to do. What's his first play going to be? He does have a Krylia in hand, which is pretty good. And a rare candy. Alright, he's got Gardevoir EX going. And he's got the ability to draw at least 4 more cards. So that's pretty good on his part. Thinking what he wants to do first. Let's see. He's contemplating. He will judge before he does anything, just like last game. Pretty close. Looking similar, except he does have a Gardevoir EX turn 2 this time. Just 1 less Ralts in play. But he has the ability to draw a bunch of cards. And he still has the Stadium, which is pretty sweet. To get a Pokemon maybe, so get more Ralts and stuff. I think he just wanted to draw first before he searched. Correct order of things, I guess, is kind of whatever. There's probably some secret math thing, but he probably knows that better than me, because that's why he's down there, and I'm up here in the booth. We'll use the Stadium. Tails as well. Will Greninja draw 2. Hit that Manaphy that we love. Probably going to discard that Manaphy, realistic, unless a VIP pass like last game. We'll draw 2. Does get a Krylia and another Ralts. But again, kind of drew nothing. Attaches to Krylia and passes. Oof. That's not what you want to see. Bryson just like, that's crazy. I have the Lugia. I'm going to use the VSTAR. I'm going to put that Pokemon in play. He's got Stonejourner. Might as well just stack with Stonejourner. I think if it's Stonejourner, I'm pretty sure it's weak to Grass. And not Psychic, which is kind of annoying for Josh. We'll use the Stadium, get Tails. Yeah, nobody knows what. Yeah, we can't flip heads. Can't roll heads. It's, kind of whatever. Looks like he has a Boss's Order in his hand, too. Ooh. Dang, attaches the double turbo. Looks like he's going in on the double Archeops ability. Looks like he's getting some energy for his Stonejourner here. What will the first 2 be? The Stonejourner can knock out. Looks like he had a Boss Order in his hand, I believe is what we said. So he can knock out Ralts or Krylia, which is pretty good to slow Josh down. Definitely. Just have another Krylia in hand, but, you want more in play. Josh was able to get the turn 2 Krylia play. There's another Krylia in the deck that's let you switch other Krylias into play. And he does have that, and he will, looks like, will attack with Stonejourner. 80 damage, and the knockout here to take the first prize again. Man, Lugia just be Lugian. Alright, well, he will use the Stadium. Oh, got heads. He probably doesn't even know what to do with it. I don't think I'm going to get this far. Reading Cresselia. There was a Cresselia in the deck. He's like, well, that doesn't knock you out. He's got Zacian. He's like, that's not even a good trade right there. Because, Lugia can just come out and knock you out. The pressure of Lugia, I don't know if maybe it's a bad matchup for Gardevoir, kind of a thing. Because Lugia's just so fast, and your Gardevoir EX being weak to Dark is very unfortunate. Alright, Josh drew there. He's going to Rare Candy into Gardevoir. Yep, Rare Candy into Gardevoir. Also not a bad attacker. We'll use the Gardevoir's ability. Oh, it did hit one there. Alright, let's see. He does have... What was that? Insane, I couldn't tell. I was thinking that's a Serena, I believe. But looks like he doesn't want to do that. He will work her and discard the stadium. He's like, I got use out of it. And I'm going to draw 2 Battle VIPs pass in those 3 cards. I'm so talented. You know that's what he wants to see right there. We'll Fog Crystal. Once again, the other Waltz is knocked out. Looks like he's going to get that Cresselia. Hopefully we can see it in action. It doesn't get a knockout, unfortunately. Like I said, because Stonejer's like, I'm weak to grass, so I don't know what you're doing. But, we'll see if he goes in. Just kidding. Can't do. He's like, just kidding, can't do that. He realized he couldn't do that. There, he will just manually retreat. Can't do. He will put another energy on the Gardevoir. And then he will get the knockout to go to 5-5. But now this is where if Bryson has a Gardevoir EX knockout, even like on this Gardevoir, which he just has that one, it's going to be so hard for Josh to come back. He does have a Tyranitar. He will use the first one. Looks like he might just be set with attacking Lugia. He's like, that's fine. You have so much to knock out my Lugia anyway, because it's already got a V-Guard and a Lucky. So Lucky lets him draw a card when he's damaged, and gift energy when you're knocked out. You draw until you have 7. I believe the way that works is you draw the Luckies first, because that's upon like damage, I think. Or maybe you get to decide. Not 100% sure on that one. My apologies there. But I don't know if we'll be able to see it. He's like, also, I got this Tyranitar, by the way. That Tyranitar, by the way, if you didn't see it in the first game, it's just hungry. There's a Pignite in the background. You know, sometimes you just want to vibe and eat food. He's got the Aroma. He's like, I probably want to get Tails to get a basic, but he's just going to knock out that Gardevoir and take a prize here. I just going to really need to do something. He going to play Corellia. It's a lot of VIP passes. I know that is the downfall of the card because you want to be able to discard them with Corellia later, but it just looks like the pressure the Lugia's been putting on has been too much. We'll just get that one with the one quick ball fail. The other, probably bench that anyway. Serena's like, I'm just going to discard these to draw to 5. I don't want them. Let's see what he get. He got Psychic Energy, a couple Psychics. Get Ultra Ball. Can't get Zacian. Figuring out which way he wants to discard the energy. Will Greninja first. See what he could draw. Oh, I think he drew the Zacian anyway. And a Bossazor, but he did already support it for the turn. So he's got to do 310 damage to knock out this Lugia because of course, the V-Guard energy. Unfortunately. So he needs, like, since everything, I believe he would do 300, so he needs another energy. But if he could do that, and if he could draw, like, the stone to take an extra prize when you knock out a V-Star, like this game, he just win this game. So we'll see. What did you read? You a Rare Candy. I would marry him. There, let's see, he's counting. He's like, how many do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 270. He's doing right now. That's not enough. He needs 2 more energy. Does not look like that's in the cards. I think he's realizing how close he was. So I think he's just going to put a bunch of Psychic on his Pokemon and use Cresselia's attack, actually, which is take 2 damage counters from all your Pokemon and then put it on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So he's just going to put them on the Lugia. So we'll put that there. Put the 8 damage counters. Not really a turn he wanted. Gonna capturing Aroma. Tails, I believe he gets a basic. Is probably the best case scenario. Does he have Lumineon and Boss in his deck is the question. Because that game's basically over. In my opinion. Not like I was there playing it earlier. Well, that'd be crazy. But he does get the Lumineon and Boss's orders. Looks like he's gonna have what to do with those Archeops. He's like, I mean, I just power up this Tyranitar. It looks like he's gonna retreat the Lugia to the Tyranitar because it is fresh. Because you have to be able to knock out Gardevoir in one hit. And Tyranitar does that. So, he looks like he'll do that. He will boss up the Gardevoir EX, and do the second attack. We have to mill 4. Kind of a fine 4, realistically. That was like a better 4 you could have milled. Josh sits there saying, wow, that's crazy. This is fun. We'll bring up the Gardevoir. Down 5-2. Him missing the tool last turn really hurt him. Obviously. But let us see what he can do. He's got the Zacian, but he will Krillya into another VIP pass because Filthy Broken Busted. Thinking about using Mew. Take the VIP pass, it'd be funny. Dang. So let me take it for the content. It just have been funny. Pal Pad. And, well, nothing he can really do here, I think. But, you know, at least contemplate to see what is going to happen there. He's got so many cards and so little options. Looks like he might marry him. He's like, nah, what do I even want to do that for? I mean, you can play the Gardevoir EX, but really, what are you going to do? You can't knock out Tyranitar. He's thinking, still thinking, he's like, you know, I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to get some yogurt or something. We had 2 people in there, Trevor and Andrew Huang, helping us do the rest of the stuff with, like, doing the prizes. I want to thank them real quick. They're also testing for a modern event. So, and that is the game. Decklist will be coming right after this. So here is the Gardevoir list. It could just been because Lugia is a bad matchup for it, because Tyranitar and Drapion can just one-shot Gardevoir EX, which is just like a problem. Because obviously, Gardevoir's got 310. 10 there in the picture, sorry about that. But, this deck could be crazy, I think, if you get an attack with your Gardevoirs. Mainly the non-EX one, and then you got Zacian as a good cleanup too. And the cool thing about this deck is you can play, like, there's other Gardevoirs and Gallades. If you're worried about Lugia, you could probably drop the Fighting Gallade in, that's like 60 times the amount of V's your opponent has in play, kind of thing, to help you maybe get back in it. There's one that searches for a supporter. So a whole bunch of ones. But this is the list, I believe, pretty much the 60, if not the 60, from the event in Japan last week. They got second. But the deck felt fine. Obviously, it was a little unlucky drawing, 3 Arcanias in a row. Turn 2, but that's kind of how things were. Like, if you play VIP Pass, you could just end up drawing them like that thing. But I think it's really funny because you want to play, like, the Krillya that draws cards, but the Krillya that also just puts your Krillias in play, also very good. So maybe you want to do the strategy is more of, like, try to do that one turn 2, like, just leave up a Ralts. And if you have time, if you're not playing in Sloth, even if you're playing in Sloth Spike and get knocked out, go down a couple of prizes to just set up your board so well. Cresselia, I thought was a cool touch. Allows you to power Pokemon and put damage. The attack puts damage anywhere, not just on the active. So that's kind of a cool thing too. But yeah, the deck seemed really cool, and I think Gardevoir definitely has a place in the upcoming meta, wherever that may end up at. And then here we have the Lugia list, obviously. Lugia just doing Lugia things. Pretty simple there. You just play Single Strike, which I think is really cool. We didn't get to see the Radiant Serena, but that's like a cool addition. They're pretty neat. That's become like a staple in Lugia. I heal 20 from Pokemon once a turn. Tyranitar, wacky effects on its attacks, but mill your opponent ain't too bad. And if you gotta mill yourself forward to like get a one-hit knockout, that's kind of something you just kind of deal with. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, Stone Journey's there. That's good against, you got Regieleki decks. You got Arceus, they don't Dunsparce out. There's like a lot of cool stuff there. This list did play, because of the Lightning decks, it does play a Dunsparce and a Punkaboo hidden there behind the Serena. Sorry about that. As for the rest of the deck, I mean, you get to play Zinni Resolve, and that's cool. That's neat. 3 Urns is really like an underrated part. Obviously, older Lugias were definitely better because you could just, play whatever you literally wanted. But then you have to kind of like confine yourself to what you have to do with that stuff. Urn of Vitality is pretty cool card, and a good recovery, because before you were like, well, there's my Aurora energies are gone, so I have to worry about if I get an attack with a Pokemon later in the game. This one you're like, I could just pop them back in there. Pretty cool thing. There's a couple Pokemon you could add. If you just look up like Single Strike Pokemon, obviously you can't do any of all of them because they have to be dark or fighting. But there is a Yveltal that's just like 3 darks, 130. on just a good one prizer. You put 3 of them on there and you knock out a Gardevoir in one hit, kind of a thing. So that's a card that definitely goes around. And obviously you got the Drapion for Mew. It's just another way. Just another card for Mew, I think, is what it is. That one's free, so consider that one. And then you got the Judge Disruption, and then you Collapse Stadium. And then you do have the new stadium, which is hidden. The person who took this photography did very well at hiding it, but had to get a Pokemon. Each player, but you need to try to get the Pokemon to play. So there's the unique options like capturing Roma that stadium and Professor Burnett. But I think obviously Lugia will be Lugia. We're going to get more special energies, and Lugia will adapt. I think Lugia will be here to stay. I don't think a tier insane as it is now, for a bit anyway, until we get other special energies. But I would say the single strike version is definitely as powerful as you're going to get. And if you like Lugia, this is definitely what you want to play at post-rotation events when we get there eventually. But I want to thank everybody for watching T-Table Testing. My opponent was Bryson, a young up-and-coming player we got in the Vegas area. Shoutouts to Trevor and Andrew for helping me out with the background stuff you didn't quite see. Always amazing. And Darkside Games in Las Vegas, Nevada for letting me use their play space to record this video and other T-Table testing videos you will see in the next couple of weeks. Visit their website, darksidegames.com, and use the code DARKSIDE10 for 10% off your order of $10 or more at checkout. So you wrapping up for post-rotation, go to Darkside to get those needs. And they have a 1K coming up in April that will be post-rotation. You can check all that on their social media pages. But thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll see everybody next time on the T-Table.